How's it going, guys? Today I want to show off the new deck that I'm on for this format, and I'm probably the next couple formats. If I want to play a competitive deck, this is what it'll be. So as you guys can see, it's Plunder Patrol. I know you guys clicked on it. So yeah, I just want to show off the deck profile, the synergies, the non-engine cards I've decided to play for this format, and maybe going forward, what you can do if you want a more budget-friendly build. I'll definitely go through all of that. So I'm kind of trying to do a complete guide to Plunder Patrol for you guys. I've tested a ton. I have a few replays. I think I'll put the replays in this video, so make sure you stay tuned till the end. I'll start with the locals recap. Yesterday I played in locals. I went 3-1 in Swiss. I beat Spright. I beat Ishizu tier. I beat Floowandereeze, and I lost to a different Spright deck. And then I made top 8, and I lost to Ishizu tier. So I'm going to be honest with you. Like, this deck is not really going to compete with Ishizu tier right now. Nothing really will. But it'll give you a decent shot, and you should have a pretty decent time against anything rogue. Plunder Patrol destroys rogue decks. Let's go ahead, go through the deck profile, and I'll talk about some of the matches and some of the card choices. Okay, I have the main extra inside here. I'm going to start with the main as is standard. This is 42 cards. There are a couple cards you could cut, but I really wanted to play them / test them. So let's go ahead and start with the Plunder Patrol package. 3 Whitebeard, it's the best one. It tags out on your opponent's turn to summon an extra deck monster with the same attribute as something your opponent controls or is in their grave. It's really good, and it's good because when it goes to the graveyard, it floats a new Plunder Patrol name, so it really keeps your engine going. It keeps up your card advantage. The second best one, I believe, is Black Eyes. This one, what it does is while it's in your hand, you can target a Plunder Patrol monster in your graveyard. This will summon itself, and the Plunder Patrol that you targeted in the grave will come to your hand. So again, similar to Whitebeard, this really keeps up your hand advantage. And also, if you don't have ammo in your hand to fuel the ships in the extra deck, your deck isn't really going to function. So this keeps up the ammo in your hand, which is really good. Another thing to note is that if your opponent shuffles back your graveyard target or DD Crows it, this will still summon itself. You just won't add anything back. So you'll at least get the extension. You might be able to bait something out. The third Plunder name I'm playing at 3 is Bluebeard. So Bluebeard is just a simple extender. If you control Plunder, you can summon it, and then it's a discard 1, draw 1. Which is kind of important with a lot of the cards that we're going with in this deck. White and blue, it's a really good combo. Just to go into like Dragite plus Redbeard as your like starting board, just with 2 cards is really strong. And just otherwise, it fixes your hands with the discard 1, draw 1, because we have a lot of discard targets. Moving on, we're playing 2 Redbeard. I think Redbeard is good. I've seen a lot of lists cut this to 1, and I don't agree with that. I think Red is very strong because it's your best summon off of Whitebeard on your opponent's turn. You want to float into a red because it can tag itself out. That's very strong. It's good for when you hard make your plunder ships like Bran or Moerk and you don't have an equip. Red is the only one that can equip itself. So I think red at 2 is necessary. And then Golden Hair I'm also playing at 2. I think Golden Hair is the worst plunder name by far. I see a lot of lists consider this as a 3 of and a starter. And yes, it is a 1-card Blackbeard with a discard. So kind of a 2-card Blackbeard, but it facilitates it through Golden Hair. But I think that's very fragile. I think if you're using your normal summon, making Almirage and all that stuff to get to Blackbeard, I think that's just... It's so bad, you're probably going to lose that game anyway, to be honest. I think the only real good reason to have this card is because it's a tuner. And that's why it's decent enough to play at 2. You can also utilize its discard to summon from grave effect with some of the discard targets in your hand, but that will lock you into Plunder, so it might not be the best all the time. Moving on to the next package. Okay, so this is a adventure Plunder Patrol deck. This is not a new concept. Definitely, if you're going to play Plunder, Adventure is the way to go, and that's because none of these cards have normal summon effects, so it never conflicts with your Adventure package. So, oh yeah, we're playing 3 Enchantress, 1 Griffin, 2 Wright, 1 Fateful, and 1 Dracoback. So the reason you play 3 Enchantress and 2 Wright is because if you open 2 Enchantress, you can use them both. And it happened a lot yesterday when I was testing, and like all my online testing, it happens a lot. You can like discard your first Enchantress to get the Wright and start that, and then you can special summon the other Enchantress and use it as a material for Blackbeard. And that happens all the time, and then you have an Enchantress engraved for follow-up next turn. Whereas if you have 2 Wrights, the second Wright is dead. You can discard it for just, a blank discard cost, but you don't get any utility out of that, and you really want to keep up your card advantage in this deck, and any other deck for that matter. Okay, so the next package I played was Bystials, and I played the full 3 Magnamut, 3 Druisworm. This is, incredibly strong against tier, but if you're not playing against tier, they're kind of bricky, and that's why you kind of have to decide, is your locals full of tier? And if yes, you need to play these, or else you have no chance. But if it's not, you can side them and main different hand traps. Just bring these in if you face the tier matchup. But that's pretty much a guaranteed game 1 loss against tier. If you can just happen to summon this, like even against Floowandereeze, if they shifter you, great, you've started your Bystial package, and you can really go into some decent stuff under shifter. So for those reasons, I like the Bystials right now. They're just so strong, and I think worth playing in this deck for sure. And now I played 3 one-ofs as tech cards as kind of optimal discard targets for Bluebeard, for your field spell, for Golden Hair, for Fateful Adventure. You pretty much always have some way to discard something out of your hand, and for those reasons I played 1 extender, which is Zephyros. I love Zephyros in the deck. I'll talk about a little combo with that. But I also played 1 Keldo and 1 Medora. Pretty much if you can discard one of these while getting your engine going, you're in an awesome spot. Just having these in your grave just as an extra interruption is pretty incredible. Also, if you're playing against a Ishizu tier and they activate Kelbeck or a Yugioh, if they happen to hit one of these out of your deck, I know this is like a really odd scenario, but if they hit one of these, they've put themselves in a rough position, and they won't expect to hit one of these when they see that you're playing Plunder Patrol. So it's really nice just to have like a lottery ticket way of competing with the tier deck, just if they happen to mill them for you. So that's really nice. Moving on to the spell cards, we have 3 of the field spell plus the terraforming, so 4 of the field spell. It's the best card for the Plunder strategy. You pretty much need it to get going and need it to boost your guys' attack, just so you can end the game as quickly as possible while you still have card advantage. And then this field spell combos really well with Zephyros. You pretty much use Zephyros as the discard cost for the field spell. Search like Whitebeard, for example. You can normal the Whitebeard, bounce the field spell with Zephyros, make like Dragite, white will go into red on your board, and then you can reactivate the field spell or something like that. So, or if you don't have any other discard fodder in your hand, you can just keep the field spell in your hand after you already used the search. I'm playing 2 Emblem. I think Emblem is really strong. For a long time, I was off of Emblem. I thought it was kind of overrated, but I think it's very good. Just to avoid activating monster effects into Fenrir, you can kind of just climb up into something big enough to get over Fenrir just using Emblem. You need spells to search off of Mowerk because you don't want to search a field spell every time. It's just very good for getting really big attack monsters. I actually don't own any copies of the fusion spell, shipping, but if I did, I would consider playing 1, but no more than that. And I only play 1 booty. It's strong if you have a nice hand for it, and it's decent in the grind game, but it's just not strong enough. Like even if you just open it going first, you don't even want to do that because the board you can make with only 4 cards plus booty is just not great. It's terrible going second. I would even consider cutting this card. It's good if you're like already winning the game hardcore. Booty is very good, but if you're not, it's pretty bad. And then the last non-engine cards, I'm playing 2 copies of Forbidden Droplet. There was a lot of anti-meta at my locals. There was like Floowandereeze. There's one guy playing like Stun with like Fossil Dyna. I think Droplet's pretty decent into weird stuff, and not enough people were playing Tier for me to play Talents. I was considering it. I was also considering playing more of the Ishizu cards just for more chance to open one so I can discard it. And if there was more Tier, if I was entering a bigger tournament, I would do that instead of maining the Droplets. But the Droplets were good, and they were good for Floowandereeze. Pretty much I was scared of Flunder with this deck just because I can't really tag into anything useful against Floowandereeze. I'm already maining all these Bystials, which are not good, not like optimal into Floowandereeze. Yeah. And then the last 3 cards I played were 3 copies of Imperm. But anyways, this is the main deck. This is 42. I'll go ahead and let's talk about the extra deck, and then some more of the main deck will make sense. So in the extra, we're playing 2 copies of each Plunder extra deck monster. That's 2 Blackbeard, 2 Mowerk, 2 Bran, and 2 Lease. So one of the advantages of playing the Ishizu shufflers in your deck is you can recycle your own stuff easily, like while hitting your opponent. So every time I could put back one Blackbeard, I would, and that's why I'm not playing 3, is because I can shuffle them back quite easily with my own cards. So I never needed 3. Let's talk about the links. So I'm playing 1 Almirage. Yeah, doing the 1 card Golden Hair into Blackbeard is not great, but I want the option to do it in case of emergency. So I am playing the 1 Almirage. That is standard for Plunders. Next, I'm playing 1 Dark. Dark, taking your opponent's Magnuma engrave is very strong if you're already playing the Bystial package. Plus, a lot of times you're playing with Bystials on board to start your turn if you're going second. So going into Dark, just starting off with a lot of advantage is kind of nice. And then 1 Access Code. Just a way to get a big monster to break some boards. You can... I don't make this as much as I did when I was maining Talents, so maybe this is probably a cuttable card or a replaceable card, but I couldn't think of anything else that I would rather had in this deck. When Plunder gets the Earth Ship in the next set, that might be nice, but until then, I think Access Code is a fine addition. Plus, if your opponent like goes into Dark, or if your opponent goes into like I don't know, what's another Dark link too? You can just start off your turn going Dark into summoning the other link 2, going into Access Code, breaking the board without committing any of your Plunder names, so that's kind of cool. And then the last 4 cards in the extra are 4 Synchro monsters. I played 1 Dragite, 1 Baron, 1 Chengying, and 1 Psychic End Punisher. So I thought Dragite was the best card, the best level 8 Synchro to make. A lot of times you can make 1 level 8 Synchro and then 1 Plunder name. So I liked going into Dragite just for the spell trap negate. Once per turn is pretty nice. You could make Draco Berserker the Tenyi. That's like okay. That'd be a decent option, but I thought Dragite was nice. Baron was nice. You go Baron with a Bystial and a Plunder name. So if you have a Bystial on your board going second, like if you Bystial your opponent for turn 0, and then it's your turn, you just normal summon a tuner. Go right into Baron or go right into Chengying, and that's very strong. Chengying will be very strong into the Kashtira matchup as well. Next format when Kashtira gets a little bit more popular. And then there was Psychic End Punisher, so you go into this with Griffin plus a tuner. So Griffin is level 7 and your Whitebeard or Golden is level 4, so that's level 11. So Psychic End is just kind of a neat tech. It's really hard for a lot of decks to get around. So it kind of just auto wins steals games out of nowhere. So I just liked having that option in here. And if you'll notice, I don't play any Xyz monsters outside of Mowerk, of course, but I don't play Bahamut Toad. I don't play Dweller, and that's because Xyz in this deck does not maintain your advantage because you don't trigger your Plunder names. You know, if you overlay Whitebeard, you don't get his effect, whereas if you link it off or synchro it away, you do get it. So I think going into powerful synchros is much better than going into powerful Xyz for this deck, and that's pretty much what you want to strive for. Okay, onto the side deck. I would side in whatever hand traps were best against my matchup, and I would take out the Bystials and like the Ishizu cards and the Zephyros. So into Floowandereeze, I would put in the Gammas and Ashes, take out the Bystials. Against Spright, I would do the same. And then the last 6 cards are just back row hate, so I played 3 Cosmic, 3 Evenly. I did side into Evenly going second against Tear. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, against Tear, I sided in Evenlies and Bells and took out like Droplets, Zephyros, and then like 2 Plunder names. What I would change going forward, let's see. I might cut one of the Bystial names for a Sorinir, a different Bystial, just to have some variety, because I was opening 2 of the same Bystial a couple times, and that was annoying. But I don't know which one I would cut. Like, going into Druisworm, and then, like, on your turn, going second, summoning Whitebeard and synchroing off, and then being able to go, like, Druisworm, Whitebeard is very powerful. I don't know, Druisworm seems like the best one for my strategy, specifically, but, yeah, I would think about that. Other changes, yeah, the droplets in the main deck are kind of, they were tournament specific. You can play talents, you can play more Ishizu names, you can play different, you can play Ash or Bell or whatever. I just decided to go with droplet just because I was afraid of the stun decks that I might be seeing. I only saw 1 Flunder, the rest is all combo, so yeah. Up to you guys. That's the deck profile. I was very happy with it. Oh, something else I wanted to bring up really quick is that I spent a lot of time online testing. Instead of the adventure package, I was playing all of the Ishizu names. I was playing 3 Keldo, 2 Medora, and 2 Kelbeck. I'll go ahead and show the deck list on screen, what I was testing. I just wanted to see as many shufflers in my grave as possible. Keldo being an extender, if you draw 2 of these, was really good. You could even like pitch Kelbeck for one of your discard costs to mill 5 from both. And if you were not playing against here, chances were it would go better for you because you could hit a shuffler, you could hit a field spell that you could like bounce back and equip and play the field spell from there. You could fuel your Black Eyes plays. If you were to play that, I would also play Desires and then you would cut the adventure package. So it's a valid option. The reason I came off of that is because it just wasn't consistent enough. I found myself bricking a lot, opening, a couple shufflers, like a Bystial and like 1 Plunder name, and what the heck are you gonna do with that? So I think the adventure package ended up being better, more consistently like competitive, and so forth. Another thing I want to talk about is the dice roll. So I won the dice roll a lot, and I kept saying I would go first, and my board would just not be enough. The interruptions are just not enough going first. I think this deck is actually better going second, which is how I used to play the deck back in the day. I used to play board breakers and the plunder names because you could just start clearing stuff on your turn. Having the 6 card is really good. Because you need ammo to get your ships to work, drawing that extra card is very important because not only do you need to spend 5 cards to make your board or break the board, you also have to leave something in hand to pitch for cost for like Mowork. You guys also wanted to talk about what you would do if you wanted to play a budget version. So let me show the cards that I would consider not budget and tell you what I would play as alternatives. Adventure, not the most budget friendly, but if you could cut them, I would play either more. I would play Kelbecks, Keldos, and Medoras, or I would play hand traps out the wazoo and just fill your deck with hand traps. If you want, you can cut Magnemute and replace it with Sorinir, and that would bring you down to $30 for the package. So I would just play 3 Sorinir in Magnum's place. And that way you could still go into the level 10 synchros like Chengying. Yeah, okay, I guess alongside this, Baron. So you could cut Baron for Ruddy Rose. Chengying is like 25 cents. So if you like going to the level 10 synchros. You could definitely still play Saronir, still play Druisworm. I think Druisworm is very good and would be like the most expensive card in your deck if that was the case. And then just play the cheaper level 10 synchros, and that would be okay. Anyway, yeah, those are the replacements for the expensive cards in the deck. The rest of the cards in the deck are all extremely cheap. Oh, okay, yeah, there's one more access code. It's definitely cuttable. You can definitely replace it with anything you want. A level 8 synchro of your choice. A third Blackbeard, definitely a good option. Just cut access code for another Blackbeard and you'll be fine. Psychic and Punisher, this one is like $15 maybe, or like $10, I don't know. Definitely cuttable, definitely replaceable. Okay, let's go ahead and get into some replays. I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm not great at commentary. I'm just going to let these run. You can slow them down if you want, but I'll just talk in general about what's going on. I guess we'll go ahead with this like Kashtira deck. I'm not sure if, you know, which build I'm showcasing here, if it was the full Ishizu or the Brave. But anyways, here I get shifted, and this guy builds a big ol' Kashtira board and starts banishing a whole bunch of stuff out of my extra deck. But you'll see the strength of one of the cards in my extra deck into this matchup, which is sure to come in the coming metas. Yeah, he banished a Blackbeard and then a Keldo off the top. So this was the second iteration. This is with Brave for sure. Yeah, so I summoned Magnamut hitting the Shifter, and I'm under Shifter. I have both of my Blackbeards banished. He's summoning all this stuff, but if I just go into Chenying, into Kashtira, like what the heck is this guy gonna do? Yeah, granted, I have some nice back row set. I let him, you know, banish more stuff. Go ahead, I'll banish stuff off of his field. He's just hitting all of my extra deck, but I don't care. I'm just gonna sit on this Chenying. I have Imperm in the birth column. That's really nice. He activates Side Beast. I don't care. I just negate it. And then he just passes turn. And then I just swing with Chenying, and that's game. So Chenying is very strong. Even under Shifter. I was under Shifter. Don't care. Just summon Chenying, and you're good to go. I played this game last night. This was against, like, it appears... Whoops. It appears Labyrinth Unchained. Probably not like the most optimal opponent for showcasing how strong this deck is. But anyways, he ashes the Fateful. And I'm just, you know, discarding my Enchantress and all that stuff. Yeah, I go into Dragite. So this is why I think Dragite's very strong. I think you can just make it into like one set, and then you're pretty much free to play the game. And yeah, once I stop the Compulse from working, he has pretty much no more plays. So I'm just pretty much going off here, clearing his board. I see it's Unchained, which is, you know, the easiest matchup in the world for this deck because you can just banish once per turn and they have no shot. And yeah, no matter what they go into, they're pretty much toast. I have Droplet for the normal summon and it's GG. Okay, this game I was playing against this Punk deck. And he pretty much wiped my whole board, but it'll show you the resiliency of the Plunder Patrol deck. He goes in, he has Baron Super Poly set with an Ash, so that's pretty decent. He ashes the field spell, but I discard the Medora anyway for cost. He negates with Baron, and then I just start summoning stuff, and then he goes ahead and Super Polys me for Garura. But that's okay. I have the Whitebeard effect. He goes Baron Pop, but you just chain Redbeard and it equips and they have nothing. Mowork just takes out the Baron, and then on the next turn it'll take out the Garura. And then he won't get the draw off of that. Here I use the Zephyros play. So I discard Zephyros, bounce back the field spell, and then go into Blackbeard with Whitebeard. Used Mowork effect to clear the Garura. And then he chained Effect Veiler on the Mowork, so I chained Blackbeard on the Mowork to summon something new and equip the Mowork, and that dodged the Effect Veiler. So that was a pretty sweet interaction, I thought. Let me show you a game that I lost against, let's see, Tearlament. So this is how we do against Tear, even if you open pretty well. So I went first. I opened Field Spell plus Medora. So that was nice. And then I ended on Whitebeard, Booty, Droplet. I mean, yeah, this is kind of why, even if you have a ton of Ishizu names, it's not the best end boards sometimes. I still have an ammo in hand, so I have some chance. He unfortunately opens up a way to discard one of his shufflers, so he forces my shuffler. So that's no good. He goes Shiren, mills a bunch, and then I start summoning my Plunder names in response, because if he goes into Rukolos, I won't be able to summon anything else anymore because it'll get negated. Oh, he's playing Spright tier. Anyway. So yeah, here I go into Mowerk, set up the Mowerk just so I can hit the Kitkalos when I can. Just to banish that and stop him from going to Rukolos. I wait for him to activate the kit, and then I chain Mowerk, hitting the kit, but he has Havness in response. Like, the tier deck just has so much gas. This deck doesn't really have much chance. Oh, here I activated Booty on Rhino, making it a light and summoning the Whitebeard, but for some reason Yugioh didn't let me, like, activate White in order to summon Lise, which was really annoying. Oh, did I use... Oh, I already used White this turn. That's why I couldn't do that. Whatever. That's why. I understand now. Anyways, yeah, I droplet that because then he won't be able to swing over my names. So I was hoping I would just survive, like the battle phase at least. But then he reveals his whole ass Spright package, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm toast. Goes into Gigantic, into Blue. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm toast. Anyways, just like there's so much gas, your deck can't compete with this much gas all at once. It's more of a grind. So unfortunately, I just had no shot. So he ends on Kaleido, Smashers, Elf. So I just go into battle just to clear something. I clear the Elf with battle phase. I go use Emblem. He misplays here. He negates with Carrot. But it doesn't, because he didn't pop it, like, he negated the effect of Emblem, but I didn't activate any effects, I just activated the card, so he just burnt a card for himself. So I thought here I had a shot. I summon Bluebeard here, but he negates that with red, pops the Bluebeard. Now I go into Black Eyes, targeting the white, but he uses his shuffler. Whitebeard goes back in, Black Eyes still summons. I normal the red, try to equip the something with ship shapes, but here he uses Smashers on the Redbeard. So yeah, I have nothing left, and he just has more gas. He has Rhino Heart, Havness, Kaleido. I mean, there's just no shot to play against this deck. Even I went first. I milled a shuffler. I had Whitebeard. I had Droplet. I had Booty. But still, just not enough. And that's another reason why Booty isn't great. Unless you can fuel your grave with white and red, just you can only use one effect pretty much. Okay, here's a better Dragon Link match. So he goes for white dragon into striker, and then I just Bystial that because I am pretty confident there's pretty low chance he has any more light monsters to be able to summon the Dark Dragon when he gets a shot, because they don't play a lot of lights except for like Lubellion and White Dragon. So he talents to draw 2, but still doesn't draw anything good. But he still is able to put up Borrel Load at the end of this turn. Okay, so here's the end board. He has Borrel Load, Savage, and Ash. And I've used Zero-Swarm already, and it's negate. Well, I mean, negated doesn't matter. But anyways, so I just normal summon the gold, and then go for, I want to go for a Synchro 10, but first, before I do that, I want to summon the Bluebeard, just so I can, like, go into Baron, use the pop effect, hopefully he negates it, I negate with Baron, and then Baron's kind of dead, so I'll just link it off with Bluebeard and Baron. But he negates the blue with Borrelode Savage, which makes Tactics live. So I just take the Borland. He summons something back, but whatever. And then I link into Baron. Druid Worm activates, gets rid of the Borreload. Baron pops the field spell to stop the follow-up. And then Golden comes out. I just swing for damage, link off the Borland for Blackbeard. He ashes the Blackbeard. Terrible idea. Again, it would have gotten me nothing much further. He imperms the Baron to try to bait me so he can use talents, but there's no reason to negate an imperm with Baron. He should have impermed the Blackbeard, and I probably would have negated that. But okay, and I want to show one more, which this is against Swordsoul, and this just shows the power of Kelbeck. So I open imperm and Redbeard, that's it. I just imperm the Moyi. Okay, that's nice. He goes Long Yuan, and I chain to go into Blackbeard to start doing stuff. And then I just Kelbeck the token. If you Kelbeck the token on Long Yuan, that's really nice. He activates Summit in the imperm column. Okay, so yeah, not the highest class of replays, but whatever he desires. I go into Bran. Now he can't attack over anything. And I look at my hand. It's Black Eyes and 3 Bystials. Not great against the Swordsoul deck. Sure, I can hit Ashina, but whatever. Black Eyes, summon itself, go into Blackbeard again, just to have stuff to get over his monsters. Now he has Moyi and Taya. So we'll see how that goes. Taya, I can't stop him. So he's able to go into Baxia, but then he targets these two to shuffle back. I chain Blackbeard to, go into Lease because Baxia is light, so that was really clutch. And I'm able to negate his summon back thing. Redbeard's going to equip himself. He's going to summon Magnamut to search. And then, he goes into battle phase, and I forgot that Lease is main phase only, so I wanted to summon Red back before he swung over, but that was a misplay on my part. Now he goes Druid Swarm on my Lease, and then I chain Magnamut to stop him from summoning, and I'm able to search in the end phase as well, but so is he. Okay, so I have a ton of advantage. He just has 2 Druid Swarms, which I know because he tried to activate one and then he searched the other in the end phase. So he only has 1 interruption besides the Druid Swarms tops. So yeah, and he just scoops here. I discarded the Druid Swarm. I would have normal summoned a Whitebeard, gone into a Synchro 10 play, maybe like Chen Ying. And then yeah, it would have been fine from there. Or a Baron. Anyways, yeah, that's the power of Kelbeck. Kelbeck is really good into the Bystials. Into the Swordsoul deck. Anyway, yeah. So that's my testing. That's my guide to Plunders for this format. Let me know what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed the profile. If you did, hit subscribe for me. I'm trying to hit 500 so I can open the community tab. So that'd be really awesome. Leave a like, leave a comment. And with that, we'll catch you guys later.